Awesome. Welcome all to Hit or Miss. I am your host, Night Strike, and we've got an interesting group of panelists tonight, and we've got an even more interesting, news articles to go over this evening. Some good, some bad, some out there that weren't really thought out well, and blame AWAG State because New Jersey is a prime example of not doing things the right way.
Boy, blaming my state, even though it is a shithole state.
You want to go? Do you want to go?
I'll go, man.
Do you want to go, B? But no, it's just New Jersey's doing things the wrong way. That's just all it is. All right, so first up, we got Mr. Disagreeable. Mr. I love New Jersey because, he's the only guy I know who would leave New Jersey and then willingly go back. We've got AWAG 1000. What's going on?
Hi. It's not that I willingly went back. It's just that, that's where home is for now. I'm currently saving to try to, move down to South Carolina or Indiana. I haven't made up my decision yet.
Come down to South Carolina. We need to make Night Wagon Gunworks a thing.
I want that to happen, but at the same time, I have no family down here, per se. So it's kind of difficult, even if I do want to, visit with family, because most of my family is already moving out to Indianapolis. And I already found a few houses out there that are very, very inexpensive and have boatloads of land, well over 3-digit numbers that are in my
Indiana to visit you. No, come down to South Carolina. Better.
I still haven't made my decision yet.
All right. Next up, we've got everyone's favorite chicken. We got Gizzard Gary. What's going on, Gary?
Well, not a whole heck of a lot. Just sitting here enjoying my gun freedom and participating in your chat. Thanks for the invite.
All right. And next up, we've got the kingpin himself, David Boland. What's going on, Dave?
Not too much, man. Thanks for having me.
I'm sorry, guys. I just read Scott P79's comment. AWAG, you should read his comment.
You should see my reply.
He's like, AWAG is skinny enough he can sleep in Night Strike's closet. It's true.
There you go, man.
Yeah, I'm a beanpole, man. Big beanpole.
Yeah. He is skinny. I'll tell you that. Sorry, David. Please continue.
Oh, no, I was done.
Okay.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right, and we got Slim Cowboy in here. What's going on, Slim?
Hey, y'all. Thanks for the invite. How y'all doing?
Doing good. We're doing good. How you doing?
Doing good.
All right. Travis?
Yeah, man. Appreciate the invite, dude. Cheap plugs as usual. Make sure y'all check out Caliber Corner this Thursday, 5 to 7 Central Time, 6 to 8 East Coast Time over on gunchannels.com. And check out my YouTube channel, Travis P11. I don't have a lot of videos on it, but I am building content. So thank you for the invite, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime, Travis, because you are now the unofficial co-host since run off and left me.
The snowman is off the grid, huh? Snowman is off the grid.
I don't know what happened to him. I miss him. But there's no more AK Pro with Smeggy. There's no more hit or miss. It's a sad day.
So are you saying that Travis put the hit back in hit or miss?
I am not saying that at all because hit or miss has always been a hit.
Now, with all this being said, I do have to let you know I may be busy next Tuesday night. I just want to give you a heads up on that. Okay,
Travis,
it's a rough week for me. We have family coming up from Texas, but I will try to be here for an hour if possible. We'll see how things go. All right, no guarantees though. I may need to get a hall pass for next week.
Now we've got Jumpy Killer out there. He's first tonight. We had gun loving Grandpa Stanley trying to be first too, but he was second. Atypical Jake is out there. Scott P79. Derek 24 is out there. Vanessa Kitty's out there. Hey Vanessa, how's it going? We got Clint out there. Jason Stewart is there to, let everyone know what's what. AWAG is pulling double duty. We got Blue Steel 44 out there. Gizzard Gary's also pulling double duty. Who else we got? Tennessee Gun Guy, Hill Climb, Ohio, Snob's Wife. Foose is out there. Foose, you have a link if you want to jump in. Matthias is out there as well. We'll probably get more people in as we continue. So, everyone else whose name I didn't say, I didn't call, we don't know if you're out there unless you say something in the live chat. So say something in the live chat so we can talk to you. All right? All right. So that going. So Travis, you sent me a bunch of links this evening. We're going to go over the Kentucky one right now.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
So, all right. So let's go over this. I used to live, in Kentucky at one point. So I was when I was in high school, I went to Kentucky high school. So Kentucky's a good state, but apparently you won't need a permit for concealed carry in Kentucky soon. And what does that mean for Kentucky, for gun-loving Kentucky? Do you remember a while back when they signed that constitutional carry bill into effect in Kentucky, right? And the governor said to the people that didn't like that and detracted, and the Moms Demand Action people, he said, if you don't like the law, you don't have to live here.
More like, if you don't like the law, you don't have to follow it.
Right. Yeah. No, he said, if you don't like the law, you don't have to live here. And what he meant by that is, if you don't like the law and you want it gone, go somewhere else. Because, apparently he doesn't want to have any of that anti-gun nonsense in his state. And, more power to him because, yeah, in most reasonable states, they have a Second Amendment in their state constitution. And yes, every state does have a constitution, as well as, there's a federal constitution for the entire country, and then there's a state constitution. Okay? So, Kentucky has one. And here's what the article says. It says, starting Thursday, anyone who can legally possess a gun in Kentucky can carry it around under a coat, in a purse, hidden in a hip holster, no permit required. Okay?
So is that for only Kentucky residents?
It says anyone who can legally possess a gun in Kentucky. So I would guess residents. But as long as you have a permit or something from another state, you're fine too. You know that, right?
Yeah, things get kind of specific because sometimes it'll say it only applies to Kentucky residents. Even Gary, how's that work with constitutional carry in Kansas? Is that open to anybody that can legally possess a firearm, or is that Kansas residents only?
I think it's open to anybody as long as they're legal to. I mean, if they're legal to, to own a gun in their home state, then.
Because I think for me, I have to obey my firearms laws when I'm in another state, like the right to inform and stuff like that. But then there's some things that, yeah.
And if you don't have a gun, we'll sell you one.
There you go. That's all. No, I've got plenty. I'm good, thank you.
All gun laws are infringements.
They are. And I'm checking the chat out here. That's why when I turn to my left, that's where all my show notes are. The chat, the panel is right here. The Google Hangouts right here. I got another window right here that is showing me all the comments that are out on the YouTube chat. So,
and if you were roll call, you'd also show us where the door is too.
Well, yeah, the door is right directly behind this flag. So, go around the flag. That's where the door is. Hit the road, Jack.
Dude, you're 15 subs short of 1,000. We so need to beef that up. Come on, guys, go subscribe to Nice Strike One.
I'm trying.
Get everybody in Never Enough Ammo's Discord chat.
Yeah. Oh, I think almost all of them are already subscribers. That's why I couldn't get to 1,000. Anyways, let's go on with this because this is pretty good. Senate Bill 150, which was signed into law on March 11th and takes effect June 27th, eliminates the 6-hour gun safety training course, background check, and $60 application fee that Kentucky previously required. It also removes an exclusion that prevented Kentuckians from getting a concealed carry permit if they owed more than a year of child support or had a misdemeanor alcohol or drug convictions within 3 years. Ooh. Kentucky joins 14 other states that have passed similar laws eliminating the need for a permit to carry concealed. The change loosens yet another firearms restriction in a state already known for having some of the nation's most liberal gun laws. And that's liberal in the real the real definition, not the California definition of liberal. Just FYI. They mean loose gun laws. Okay? That's fine with the proponents who say that eliminating the concealed carry law will have little impact since Kentuckians can already open carry, meaning the gun is in plain sight without a permit. Law-abiding citizens who are authorized to carry a firearm should not have to ask permission from the government or to pay a recurrent fee in order to exercise their Second Amendment right, said State Representative Savannah Maddox, Republican of Dry Ridge, one of the bill's sponsors, who added that it is wise for anyone who plans to carry to have basic safety training. Okay, it's reasonable. I don't like the fact that you require training, but I understand if it makes people feel better or safer that training could help. I don't think it should be a requirement, but again, I didn't want to sit through an 8-hour course just to be able to conceal carry in my state, but I did it anyways because I wanted a concealed carry license.
Yeah, 6 to 8 hours is a bit excessive. I mean, I know some states they'll do an hour or two. That's not too bad. But when you get to that point, it's like, all right, I'm assuming that's multiple days, or is that one day to do? Was that for the 6 hours?
It was probably one day. I mean,
our Nebraska course is 6 to 8 hours, and it's one day.
In South Carolina, it's 8 hours one day. Sometimes you can do 4 hours one day and 4 hours another day. But it's usually 8 hours in total of training. And in South Carolina, it's not really training. Basically, they're going over 8 hours of, the first 4 hours are safety and safety definitions. And the last 4 hours are all legal stuff. And, this is when and where you should appropriately use your firearm in a defensive situation. They gave us multiple, defensive situations, and they, told us a bunch of laws and went over a bunch of the stuff, of which, by the way, hanging out on gun channels, I already knew all of this stuff already because we had gone over this stuff in other people's chats, but I had to sit through it. So, the fastest part was going out and shooting. That was the fastest part.
See, we actually did a ton of shooting with our class because it was the guy that did the classes also does a bunch of defensive shooting classes and carbine classes. So he said when you sign up for the class, he recommended you bring at least 200 rounds of ammo. So we did a bunch of drills and stuff, and then everybody got to learn how to take their firearms apart and reassemble them, and actually made it really interesting.
So that sounds like a useful class.
Yeah, it was. Everybody got to learn how the guns were taken apart and then cleaned, and then just made sure they were ready to go for the range. Everybody got them reassembled and stuff. And this guy's got so much experience with so many different firearms. And we did a bunch of drills and stuff. And then at the end, we did our qualification, which is kind of cool. So,
yeah, it's rather than
the qualification was at the end as well with South Carolina. But
yeah,
we basically burned through all of the information and all of the the shooting portion even went by fast too. And I know people are going to go after me for my target, but I hit every shot that was in that gun went on the paper. Didn't necessarily go in the area of which it was supposed to. I had a couple strays, but it still hit actual paper.
Yeah, they were silhouette targets, right?
Yeah, they were silhouette targets, and unfortunately, I had 4 strays which hit around the silhouette, but still hit the paper. So, but again, I was competent enough with my accuracy that they said, okay, you can have your concealed carry permit. And I'm happy. Happy as a clam. But anyways, let's get back to Kentucky because there's more to this and I want to go through this, all right? All right. So the law doesn't change who's eligible to carry or the places where guns are allowed. There are exceptions per Kentucky state law. Concealed weapons still won't be allowed in courthouses, prisons, sheriff offices, jails, and prisons. I don't know why they needed prisons twice, but okay.
Okay.
They're also not allowed in drinking establishments or in the bar area in restaurants that serve alcohol, which is funny. In South Carolina, you can carry in a bar or a restaurant that serves alcohol. The stipulation is you can't drink. So you can't drink alcohol and conceal carry in South Carolina, but you can go there, provided there's not a sign, and partake of whatever food or other non-alcoholic drinks that you want in the state of South Carolina. So that's where South Carolina differs from Kentucky on this. But who knows? Maybe they'll get better. All right. Concealed carry weapons are banned in daycare facilities unless a homeowner has a registered child care facility in their own home, and elementary and secondary schools unless given permission by school authorities. So there's that. Even so, opponents, including some in law enforcement, fear that the prospect of more guns and untrained gun users who no longer need a permit to carry concealed will lead to an increase in violence and crime. And some studies suggest that the states that have allowed concealed carry have seen violent crime rise. No. And some studies suggest that they go on to say it creates questions about officer safety and adds a new level of caution that officers have to take, said Jesse Holliday, a spokesman for, I believe that's the Louisville Metropolitan Police Department. Don't ask me why I know that. Let's just say Night Strike may have had a troubled youth.
Oh man.
He might have gotten into one too many. Nobody died. He didn't steal anything, but he may have gotten in trouble with the law once or twice.
Bar fights, huh? Yep.
No. No, more like, how did I get into that bar in the first place at my age?
Ah.
Yeah, that's more or less what it was. But anyways, even though the law eliminates the need in Kentucky, the permitting process isn't going away. Residents will still need a permit to carry concealed in states that recognize Kentucky's 1998 law that established concealed carry permits, according to Kentucky State Police. And that's my point. Okay, I've said this. I was talking to John Brown Productions earlier this afternoon on the lobby chat, and he wants to buy a Garand, from the CMP. And the thing is, for one of the conditions for eligibility for buying a Garand from the CMP is you have to prove some sort of shooting function or something. And one of them is your concealed carry permit. And while New Hampshire is the state he's in, they're constitutional carry, so he doesn't have to have a permit anymore. The fact is, I told him, well, yeah, you don't need a permit in your state, to go around. But what happens if you go and visit your family in other states? Because obviously you've got family or relatives elsewhere. And he's like, yeah, I do have family elsewhere. And I go, if those states have reciprocity with your state, you still need an ID from your state to prove that you are eligible to carry in their state. So, it might be a good idea for you to go and renew that permit so that you can, carry. Plus, you also have that permit there, so you can get a Garand as long as you join the Garand Collectors Association and show them that permit, concealed carry permit, and then bam, you can get $1,000. That's all you have to do is fill out the paperwork. That's how easy it is, but people don't understand that. But that's the point. If you live in a state that has constitutional carry, so you can carry concealed or unconcealed without a permit, that's great. But your state still has a permit that they issue, because the fact is, if you ever have to travel, you're going to need to have that permit to prove that you can carry in somebody else's state if they've got reciprocity with your state. And that's why it's good to have that card. If you're never going to leave your state ever for the rest of your life, then no, you don't need it. But if you do, you want the permit. And it sucks that you have to have one, but hey, this is life.
I like the idea of a card. I kind of agree with you on the whole. It's nice to have something if you're traveling and you're away from home. You can show like, hey, here I went through the process. I have a permit to carry, even if it's as simple like PA is pretty simple. We don't have any classes. It's literally just every 5 years you go to the courthouse, pay them $20, refill out the form, and here's your card for 5 years.
Right.
So it's something that it's like a hey, I'm a good guy card almost.
So what kind of process do you have to go through? Say you've got a South Carolina concealed carry permit,
Mhm.
and you've got reciprocity in Montana, and then you decide you're going to move to Montana. Obviously, you've got to get a Montana carry permit, because just because you have reciprocity.
Once I make the transition and I actually buy a house there and I move there, I move there and buy a house there and settle down and whatnot, I have to go and apply in Montana for my permit, because by that point, I am no longer a South Carolina resident. My permit's invalid.
All right, cool. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make clear.
And that's how it is with other states too. Don't think that you're covered when you move from point A to point B. Once you get to point B, that doesn't mean you should continue carrying your old state's concealed carry card. That's a no-no. Some states require you to turn that card in once you've moved.
I'll say usually you get like 30 days from the time you set up your new mailing address or something like that, so you'd want to turn around quickly. Like that's even if you change cities. You're in Nebraska. If you change cities, you're supposed to get an updated card with your new address on it. There's no cost, but still.
Yeah. Warsaw Patriots going on about something we've talked about before, but we're going to go over this anyways, because this is also interesting. Here's the thing. He's saying Warsaw Patriots saying at Night Strike. Here's the thing. People want to legalize weed. However, if you're a person who wants to buy a gun and has to fill out a 4473 form, and the question states if you are under the influence of weed. Yeah. So basically that means that if you want to do weed, you can't do guns. If you want to do guns, you can't do weed. So don't do it. And I'm not going to tell anyone to ever lie on a federal form. Never lie on a federal form. But again, that's it. That's what you're stuck with. So, yeah. What else were we going to go over? I don't want to talk about that one. Let's talk. I don't want to talk about that one either. We're going to skip to I-1639 right now, Travis.
I never sent you one on that.
No, I've got that.
Oh,
guys,
okay. I was like, sure, man. I'm cool with that. Whatever.
Yeah, guys. I know you guys out there on the YouTube side and even on the Gun Channel side. You guys know what's going on with I-1639. Basically, it got passed in Washington. Yankee is trying to help out the Second Amendment Foundation and the Legal Defense Fund to fight I-1639 in the state of Washington. I'm going to put the link out there for people. I have already donated. If you guys can go over, if you haven't done so already, because I know a lot of you guys, I share subs with a lot of you guys, with Yankee and Matt, Never Enough Ammo. But if you guys are just now seeing that link, go to that link and help out the I-1639 Legal Defense Fund, because it is they are almost there. They're almost there. Here, I'm going to screen share so you guys can check this out. But here's the page where it's currently at $73,000, $73,655 of 100,000, which is the goal. Okay, this is just literally just to pay any filing fees, just to pay for the lawyers, the lawyers' time, all that. This isn't for anybody else, and this is for the I-1639 Legal Defense Fund. And the thing about it is, if you don't want to, there's been some confusion and some people saying, well, no, just send the money to the Second Amendment Foundation. And what the Second Amendment Foundation have said on record that they are with this. If you want the money you donate to the Second Amendment Foundation going to the 1639 Legal Defense Fund, you have to notate in your donation that you want it going towards 1639. Otherwise, any donations made directly to the Second Amendment Foundation go into the Second Amendment account, the main fund for everyone, to fight on the global scale, the national scale. So, again, if you guys haven't done so already, I will post the link out there again for everyone, because I really do believe that we need to, help out the 1639 Legal Defense Fund. If you guys have done so already, thank you very much. Thank you for helping out. If you haven't, consider throwing $1, $2, $5, hell, $10 if you can to I-1639 Legal Defense Fund, because I really like them. I'd really like to see them succeed. I'd really like to start getting some positive things done in this country instead of negative. I want to see us get some gun laws back. I want to see us fight some of this stuff and actually win. I don't want to see us lose. It's either united we stand or divided we fall. And if we want to continue fighting each other, and dividing ourselves, and continue doing that. But if you want to actually make a difference, help out the I-1639 Legal Defense Fund. Make a video, make people aware that it's out there, and let people know to help. If you have other friends who might be interested in helping out, let them know. Spread the word so that we can get this. We can fight this so that they don't have to deal with it. Because if 1639 becomes the mainstay in Washington, it's going to every other state. It's not going to just stay in Washington. Every other state is going to get their own version of 1639, and eventually it'll creep up on us and it'll win. And we don't want it to win. It has to stop right here and right now.
What's the cutoff date for that GoFundMe? So people know they're planning.
There's no cutoff date.
Okay.
The cutoff date is when they reach 100,000.
Oh, okay. I don't know if they would have a certain date they wanted it by, or yeah.
No.
Cool.
So that's what's going on. With that, again, Yankee's done some videos on it. I have to do a video on it, but I'm just making people aware of it right now. I'm probably going to do a video later on. But guys, if you can, please go and donate to the I-1639 Legal Defense Fund. All right. And with that, we're going to get back to, our regularly scheduled program.
There you go.
All right. So what do we want to talk about? What we're going to talk about? I don't want to talk about this, but Travis wants to talk about this. So, okay. What needs to happen with the National Rifle Association? I don't want to rag on the NRA, so let's refrain from trying to rag on them. Let's talk about constructive criticism that can possibly help them get out of the situation they're in. That could give people confidence in the NRA instead of being negative. Okay, so first up is a change that the NRA could make would be a smaller board of directors, okay? Instead of like 75 people on the board of directors, maybe like, 10, 15 people? That seems reasonable, right?
Probably an odd number, so when it comes to votes, that's what you could do so you wouldn't get 50-50 splits on measures if they actually vote on anything.
Right. So, you don't want to have a lot of people because that's just going to split the vote 7 different ways. This is also struck me as because I'm going over an article, and they're also saying there needs to be instituted term limits for the board of directors, as well as the president, vice president of the NRA. So that's interesting. Also, the board of directors that do vote, they have to show up and not be in absentia, because that's the problem with the current NRA board is they've got like 70 something board of directors, but a lot of them are honorary, like celebrities and whatnot. And then there's other people that are on it that should be voting but aren't because they're always absent.
I wonder if there's something buried deep somewhere in the NRA bylaws that says that you have to be at so many meetings every year, and nobody really pays attention to it, or people just don't look at it like attendance.
Right. Another one of these is member engagement. Actually start listening to some of the members instead of just picking up the phone saying yeah, and then hanging up and then one ear out the other. Hold those that are hold what is it? Informed votes. Hold the elected leaders of the NRA accountable for what goes on.
Here's what I would like to see. You want to talk about engagement? I've been bitching about this for years now. Why don't we have a lobbyist in every Capitol building in this country that's represented by the NRA, so they're there from whenever it opens to when it closes to make sure that nothing gets passed or nothing gets pushed. Somebody who's dedicated. Not only that, if you had that person in your Capitol building, they could start to kind of network with senators that are going to be on their side or representatives on their side. They can start to recognize patterns with the opposition so they know which way votes are going to go. Because they've got don't tell me they don't have the money to do. They got the money to pay a lobbyist in each Capitol building in this country. Easy.
They don't already have that?
I don't think so. Because usually when stuff pops up, they have regional representatives. Like for Nebraska, it's broken up into zones. But to have one dedicated person that's in the Capitol building every day of the week that they're in session, that would be nice. Many times it's the Nebraska Farms Owners Association that's to step up to fight against the bills, and the NRA is nowhere to be seen.
And when I'm talking about member engagement, I mean talk to members more than just when you need money. Like the only time the NRA actually listens to you when you have something to say to them is when they're calling begging you for money. But they don't listen to you any other time. You can email, you can write, you can call them, and they won't listen to you at all. But when they ask you for money, they'll listen to whatever the hell you have to say just so they get that money.
And again, if you had a person in every building, that person could be around. The person could do some roundtable coffee discussions. That person could be a member of the community. They could start to build confidence in the NRA. That's all you got to do to bring it back. It really wouldn't be that hard to do, to engage with people and build some interest.
I'm not so sure. I know this is like the NRA turning the NRA into like a mini government in itself, but remember it's a nonprofit organization that is called the National Rifle Association. Their goal is to save the Second Amendment, and quite honestly, some of that should be I do think it would be good if the NRA started going to certain towns or certain states and holding town halls and asking members of the NRA what they would like to see happen with the NRA, what direction they would like to see the NRA going. They don't necessarily have to act on it, but at least showing that they're listening would be nice for a change.
I'm telling you, they could be doing it in every state right now, networking with people, communicating with people, taking input from people, good or bad, and trying to work with it. That's how you build trust with people, And again, they've got the resources, nonprofit or not. They've got hundreds of millions of dollars floating around. They can afford to do this.
Right. So, it's not like we're asking for anything unreasonable. I mean, the NRA TV. I hate to say this, but I don't think the NRA TV was worth the investment the NRA put into it. I mean, I'm not saying they didn't have some good stuff there. They did, but I mean, they could have done it a hell of a lot better than they did. unfortunately, and there's no nice way to say that. Okay, and there's also the fact that I'm going to say this right now, but Wayne LaPierre does need to leave. He needs to step down, put somebody else in charge, do whatever. But the whole top needs to be restructured. And again, I think the last thing for me would be the NRA needs to narrow their focus and their message. They need to let people know that they are listening again and they aren't just going all willy-nilly like Chris Cox and LaPierre were with the bump stock ban and red flag laws. And the only way to do that is to get somebody new in and get and start again. Those town halls might help. Also, start working towards getting some of our rights back. Hell, maybe getting rid of the bump stock ban. Maybe, going after the red flag laws legally because they violate the Constitution. I don't know, but it could help.
So have you heard anything? Has there been any federal investigations or IRS investigations into LaPierre at all? Anything that can get him ousted or not?
Well, no, but apparently, from what I've heard, that Cuomo is it's either Cuomo or it's one of the New York governors or former governors is actively suing Wayne LaPierre and the NRA. I heard there's that, and also that there's the Ackerman McQueen counter-sue lawsuit going on, which we already know that. But other than that, there's also the factor that we've heard in the last couple of days that Chris Cox has been outed because Wayne LaPierre is trying to consolidate his power base, and the board of directors has turned on him, and he is the only man alone in the NRA that can do anything. It's been that dramatic, and I know I'm being over dramatic while saying that, but that's how it's been explained in the news. And I'm just like, well, Wayne's eventually gonna get infringed, unfortunately. So, all right, we got a couple of questions out there. I'm gonna answer a couple of them. Okay. Warsaw Patriot saying, at Night Strike, what if we could survive without the NRA by converting all those people from the NRA to GOA, Second Amendment Foundation, and Firearms Policy Coalition and not invite people? Well, the problem is the NRA, unfortunately, is much larger and has more income than the GOA or the Second Amendment Foundation. If you look at the numbers, the NRA has like $300 million of income a year. The GOA and the Second Amendment Foundation have like a fraction, even less than a fraction.
How much longer is the NRA going to have that income?
That's a good point. That's a good point. But, again, I'm of the opinion that if you can join all the gun right groups that really do help out, like, what is it, the NFA Freedom Alliance, the Second Amendment Foundation, the Gun Owners of America, join those groups because I'm a member. But again, the NRA, I don't think trying to convert everyone over to another group is going to happen because you got some. I hate using this term, but you got some really, really obstinate fuds that just love their NRA. If you say anything bad about the NRA,
yeah.
Why does it have to be a conversion anyway? Just get people to go contribute to more other 2A groups so everybody can fight. That way you don't have to rely on one organization.
Right.
And something I would like to see, since we're talking about it, I'd like to see the GOA maybe pull back on their mailings. That's got to cost them a lot of money, man.
Yeah, I've seen that lately.
They don't need to do that because I know who they are if I want to contribute. Email, if anything, email me.
I've been getting that a lot from the GOA and the 2AF. And I'm like, guys, I know you guys are smaller than the NRA, but just because the NRA is doing bad doesn't mean that the GOA, the 2AF, and what is it, the FPC. It doesn't mean you guys have to be just as bad as the NRA. Come on, guys, you know better.
BC sends more emails than the NRA does, I think.
Yeah. So that's what I think on that, and I'm not going to go on about that. Jumpy, I know you're not a fan of the NRA. I understand. You don't have to. You don't have to give us that. But I don't like that. I would rather be positive about trying to help positive change with the NRA than trying to just say, "Oh, let's just wait till it burns down and start over." Well, if we wait for it to burn down and start over, we're going to have to contend with Bloomberg by ourselves. And no one wants to be the small man against that.
Oh, God, no.
He's got billions while the NRA has a couple hundred billion. And granted, whether they'll have that next year or not, that's a very good indication. We'll have to see what those numbers are next year. But right now, the whole focus is this year. And the NRA needs to start they really need to sit down and decide what they really want to come out of this entire situation. Because right now, I don't care who it is, but Wayne LaPierre just looks bad for the entire NRA in itself. He needs to step down. Those board directors also need to step down. Chris Cox, he needs to go and either retire or find a different job.
Thought
the
he
thing
was
is,
suspended.
So
it's making them look bad because they claim as a non-profit, yet then you look at the salary he's raking in and the suits he's buying and all that, and that turns people away from the NRA because they're like, wait a minute, I thought you guys were a non-profit. Meanwhile, he's, what was it, like $10,000 suits or something like that?
I don't want to know.
Exactly.
I don't want to know. I don't care. He needs to. He's got enough money where if he just invested it all somewhere else and just bought a smaller house than he lives in out in the country away from everyone else and just retire, everyone would be happy. But again, Wayne wants to do the whole power base. He wants to be the NRA himself, and I don't think that's going to work out for him. So, also, why, as the leader of the NRA, are you going and taking trips to Europe and talking to people outside of our country instead of staying in the United States, maybe going to other states and trying to support endeavors in other states for the Second Amendment? Why do we need to pay for shit outside the United States? We don't. You don't need to be going there. Yes, I realize we have bases in other countries. We have, armed forces serving in other countries. But primarily, all of their families don't move with them. They normally stay here in the United States when family is moved overseas, to serve. So I don't understand the need for him to go out in the middle of Eastern Europe.
I think the biggest thing we need is they need to be more transparent. They'll show your work mentality of, okay, where is the money going? What are they doing? And show that they're actually working to help people, working to support the Second Amendment.
Right. We've got the man who's known as Zorro.
Julio Arromo. Thank you.
Okay.
How's everyone doing?
You're alive, dude.
Well, I was alive this whole time.
No, I haven't heard from you for months, man.
Maybe you got married.
Wow. We thought maybe you had gotten arrested in California.
Yeah.
I am the legendary Zorro. My identity is unknown. Haha. No, I'm joking. No, I just been with school.
Yeah.
Just graduated college. All the fun stuff.
Yeah, you need to go to grad school.
Yeah, and then studying, go to university, and then buying guns. All the fun stuff.
Right. All I know is you still got a Chris Vector before Ellis did. So.
Oh my God!
I
He
also
did
have
a college student. Holy
I
crap!
also got a PTR. I also got a PTR.
Ooh.
I got a C308. That's good enough for me. I mean, I know PTR is
also-
better, and if I could have afforded a PTR, I would have bought one. But I'm dirt poor, so that's not going to happen. I'll be happy with the C308.
Which model PTR 91? Do you go with PTR 91 like the GI model, or which one did you go with?
It's pretty much a 9mm one
Oh, okay. Damn.
with a 16-inch barrel.
So you wanted a I hate to use the word, but the fake MP5 more or less.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly.
All right, we got a question out there from Jason Stewart asking, Night Strike, who would be the best choice to replace Wayne and lead the NRA?
Me.
Man, I'll do it.
I'll go for Travis P11.
Gary,
You know what?
Gary's got even days. I got odd days, and then we'll split the weekends.
No,
Heck yeah.
no, you asked Jason, but you're not going to like the answer.
I'm going to have NRAM in Kansas City.
It's going to be
maybe-
Zorro.
There you
He's
go.
the leader of the NRA.
Maybe Night Strike should be in charge of the NRA, considering he's the one who always goes on saying, "Shall not be infringed."
There you go.
Just saying, I
Yep.
can run, but no, I'm kidding about that. I would never run the NRA. I'd never get in that much trouble for my life. But I have no idea who would be the best fit to lead the NRA after Wayne LaPierre. But the point is, we need to get him out first, and then figure that out. And until that happens, I hate to say this because I'm religious and I'm not. Okay, I don't go to church all the time, but I believe in God and Jesus Christ and all that. So I am a Christian, and it's just like at this point, for a decent president or a leader of the NRA, we literally have to pray in order to get somebody else, because I don't know how else that's going to happen. Like, pray that something happens, that Wayne LaPierre has to step down or somebody has to take up the slack. But aside from praying, I have no idea how we're going to get how anything's going to change.
Let's get Mac up there. Let's get Military Arms Channel. Tim.
He's got his own. He's got enough on his plate already. He runs a gun shop, and he also does Military Arms Channel.
All right, let's go. Let's go with Gary Sinise then.
The
Ted
thing
Nugent.
the thing is, in my opinion, is that I don't trust the NRA even with a different spokesperson for it. The thing is, with the NRA, you pretty much got to tear the whole thing down to the foundation and rebuild it up. Because corruption is corruption. Doesn't matter if you just take out the heads; it's just gonna be corrupted all over again.
Hail Hydra.
So, I mean, it's easy to say, "Oh, just replace the leader." Well, how do we actually know that it's not just him? How about it could be his cronies? If you don't get rid of the cronies, you're just leaving the inevitable.
No, you guys need to see what Jason Stewart set out in the YouTube chat.
What do you say?
The N stands for Night Strike Rifle Association.
Ooh, there you go. Night Wagons Rifle Association.
There
Nightwagon.
we go. Nightwagen, yeah.
Nightwagon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we love the Nightwagen.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I say Ted Nugent. Then you have the Nugent Rifle Association.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just drop the N, the second N in Nugent, and you'll have the Nugget Rifle Association.
They'd be playing Cat Scratch Fever at the beginning of NRAM.
Oh wow, Gary, that's awful, man. Don't do that.
I kind of agree. I kind of agree with Zorro though that there's a lot of fat to be trimmed in the NRA to make them, I guess, basically useful again. Sadly, I think there's a lot of changes you'd have to make.
Yeah. All right. So moving on from the NRA, we said our piece on it. Okay. Earlier, AWAG said he had to go. He needed to eat dinner and leave. But we're going to talk about New Jersey right now because apparently New Jersey lawmakers who have no idea what they're talking about and think that this is a thing when it's not yet, But apparently the New Jersey lawmakers approved mandatory smart gun bill. Okay, a proposal to swap out New Jersey's long dormant smart gun law and replace it with one requiring dealers to carry at least one such gun in stock passed the legislature last week. Which, not yet. There aren't any smart guns on the market yet. I know it.
So put it in the damn store, nobody's gonna buy it.
Nobody's gonna buy it.
Put a $10,000 price tag on them. Damn.
Didn't that almost bankrupt Colt a few years ago when they tried one and like it failed epically and they lost so much money on it?
Okay, I'm gonna be short and simple on this. The problem is with what the Democrats and the left see as smart gun isn't actually smart. Okay, they just want more control over the guns. Okay, and who can use them. And unfortunately, that doesn't make it smart. The definition of a smart gun is like this. Okay, you do a correlation like how your brick phones, your brick cell phones, and your flip cell phones became your smartphone. They added features. They didn't take features away. So they added GPS. They added alarm clocks. They added the ability to surf the internet. They added, the ability to use it as a flashlight. They added things. But the way these smart guns that they're toting they're controlling who can use it. No one can use it but the person who has the thing on it. And that's great, but that doesn't make it smart. That just means you're trying to make a secure gun. Security doesn't necessarily mean smart. What other features are they adding? They're not. I mean, if you wanted a real smart gun, you add a small heads-up display on the gun showing you how many bullets you have left, what type of bullets that are in the magazine. Adding features to the gun that would make it smart. Okay, but just limiting who is able to use the gun because of whatever security protection you put on the gun does not make it smart. And that's all I have to say on the whole smart gun thing. But we're going to go on about the New Jersey smart gun law and all this because you still have to go over it. But I had to make that whole discernation between what smart gun really is, what a smart object really is, as opposed to what they're trying to tout as a smart gun. Because what a smart gun is and what they're showing and what they're trying to support are two different things in general that have nothing to do with each other. Okay? All right. So, introduced in January by the State Senate Majority Leader, Loretta Weinberg. Not going to say anything. Who designed the state's current divisive smart gun mandate. The proposal requires dealers to carry at least one model of a smart gun when they become available rather than sell them exclusively. Filed as S-101, the measurement passed the Assembly 49-23 and the Senate 24-12 with Democrats who control both chambers leading the charge. It now heads towards Governor Phil Murphy. Okay, the bill scraps most of the state's 2002 smart gun law, which has been on the books for nearly 2 decades, and replaces it with a requirement that the state attorney general continue to report to the governor and legislator every 6 months on the commercial availability of the devices in the country. Once the attorney general approves a production model, every firearms wholesaler and retailer in the state will be obligated to carry at least one example for sale in their inventory within 60 days and have it on display in their sales room with visible signage referencing its features. Now, that's great, but that's only provided that such a company could meet that demand.
Well, that's the thing, is it's like you were saying, how expensive is this going to be? Like, you might think, oh, well, like Cabela's or something having just one per store, that's no big deal. But then you run into, well, is it a $10,000 gun? And how much, for a small shop, how much of their, slush fund does that tie up?
And there's more of this, and we're gonna go through the whole thing. So, but I had to make a pause there because it seemed like that was the best time and place to make a pause. But what they go on to say, similar legislation developed in collaboration with national gun control groups like GIFR was vetoed in 2016 by Krispy Kreme. Governor Krispy Kreme, who said would have also replaced one unnecessary mandate with another unjustified restriction on firearm sales, this time targeting firearm retailers. Murphy, a Democrat who ran for office with the endorsement of anti-gun groups and went on to appoint a former Giffords lawyer as his gun control czar, is likely to sign the bill into law. He approved 6 gun control bills last session alone. Not good. Second Amendment groups are nonetheless asking Murphy to drip veto Inc. in S101, with the Association of New Jersey Rifle and Pistol Clubs stipulating that should the governor approve the new mandate, he should set an example by immediately requiring his own security details to use only smart guns moving forward. Firearms industry trade groups have long had a position that they are not opposed to authorized user recognition technology being applied to a firearm or to the further development of smart guns, as long as it's not made a requirement by lawmakers. The guns have been the subject of research since the 1990s, with the only commercial example marketed, the $1,200 German-made Armatrix IP1, failing to make headway on the market. The 22 LR pistol, which required an RFID-equipped wristwatch to be able to fire, could allegedly be hacked with a $15 magnet and jammed with radio waves.
Yeah,
So,
they proved that it was pretty easy to shut that thing down.
And which is why I say they want smart guns, which basically they don't want smart guns. They want guns with security protocols so they can say who and who can't use that smart gun. But the problem is that's not a smart gun. As I said, the smartphone became the smartphone because they added features. But a smart gun isn't a smart gun if the only added feature is, making sure only one person can use the firearm and no one else. So that's what we're going to end on, because I've had it. And the ridiculous of smart guns in general. I mean, the smart guns smart guns were the Makita rifle from Starship Troopers. The rifles that Ripley used in the Aliens movies. Those are smart guns. They had features added on, like Starship Trooper one. It told you how many rounds were left in the magazine until you had to swap it out. Okay, that's a smart gun feature. That's what a smart gun is. It actually has features that people actually want. People don't want a smart gun feature that can, one, be hacked by any guy with a magnet and a radio wave jammer, which it's not hard to make either, or use either even. And people don't want to not be able to use their firearms because they can't find their fucking wristwatch. And on that, that's it. That's it. So if you guys have anything to say on this, go for it. We'll finish it up.
Yeah, if there's no market drive and no push for smart guns and nothing gets picked up by a national company or distribution company, they're pretty much dead in the water. And I mean, I think that when they try to push legislation like that through, anybody who's pro-gun would quickly point that out, that there really is no distribution and there's nobody in making them right now. So to require it would be asinine because there's no resource even available to make it happen. Right. So I don't think it's even possible.
So,
yeah, man.
And we all know that even fingerprint scanning still isn't that technology. While it's gotten a little better with it, but it's nowhere near perfected. So fingerprint scanning on guns wouldn't work either.
Well, it's just, you got to rely on a wristband actually linking to it and working, or, what if that would get jammed when you need it to work, or what if it needed a firmware update, or what if it reboots when you need to use it, right? I mean, most of our phones, yeah.
Here you go. It's a Galaxy Note 4.
Yep.
That's what I got. It's an older phone, but it does what I need it to. So I'd like to get a new one, but I don't want a phone that I can't have a battery replaced in.
Oh yeah, man. Good luck in the future, man. Yeah.
Right. So, I'll probably have to buy one eventually, but anyways. But yeah, it's just smartphones, smart guns. They don't correlate because, smartphones actually have features added to them, whereas, smart guns don't. The only feature is, who can and can't use the firearm. That's not really a feature. That's a takeaway.
Well, the thing is they're trying to force basically an evolution of a product on people when it's an evolution that's not wanted. I mean, smartphones advanced because people wanted more features, people want this, people want that, and they've gotten smarter and faster and all that because there was a drive for it, there was a want for it. Nobody's out there except for usually the people that don't want guns and don't know anything about guns. Besides that, nobody's really pushing for these smart gun things. So that's the problem, is they're trying to force a change that no one wants.
Hey, nice, Rick. I'm going to head on over to Sandhills.
All right, give it a plug first.
All right, man. Again, guys, make sure you check it out. YouTube, Travis P11 is my channel. There's just a couple of videos over there. I hope you enjoy them. And then also we've got Caliber Corner Thursday nights, 5 to 7 Central Time, 6 to 8 East Coast Time. Check it out on gunchannels.com. Make sure that you support GunTube.org. Everybody on this panel, I want you guys to check out their channels. Lots of good content. And that's what I got, man. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we lost Gizzy Gary. They're going over to Sandhills.
Yep.
So, Slim, you're up.
Oh, thanks for the invite, man. And check me out on all the different streaming sites, all that, the social media. I do videos, reviews, all that. I like when people watch them. Thanks.
All right. Kingpin, you've been a little quiet tonight.
Yeah, good conversation. I mean, I like listening to what you guys had to say, so it was better for me to just be quiet and take it in than interject. So thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. No problem. All right. Zorro, you were here for just a little bit, but thanks for jumping in. And now Foos decides to get here. When everybody we're done, he's been listening, commenting out there on the side chat.
Not really comment. I was sizing brass, but yeah.
But yeah.
I was listening. So
Foos, say goodbye, Foos.
Goodbye, Foos.
Okay, Zorro, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
All right, there we go. All right, guys. So thank you all for listening. If you guys want to help out, check out Night Strike on Patreon. If you want to help GunTube out, check out GunTube on Patreon. Check out the GunTube store and all that stuff. You'll find links to GunTube and nightstrike.com in the description of the video. So just go nuts. So we'll see you guys next week. So thank you all for listening. This was Hit or Miss.